What is good, folks? Welcome back to the Furnished Mind. Today, we're going to go ahead and just dive into this very interesting conversation Tomi Lahren just had on her podcast.
You know, because I was on your podcast talking about my little PSA to men where people say I was trashing men. There's a big difference. Andrew Tate actually trashes women. I don't trash men. I trash men that I think are soft, that I think are pathetic, that I think are little boys. And I think that there is an epidemic. I will call it a pandemic. The real pandemic is soft men in this country. And I know that you agree with me in a lot of ways, but I'll tell you this. There are so many women out there who are successful who can't find anybody out there because the successful men want the 25-year-olds who just want to be on Instagram and post their purses and their yachts and this and that. So I think we have a scarcity of real men, and I don't know how we change that.
We start spanking kids again. We start holding people accountable. We start letting people lose. We start taking away the first place trophies from everybody on the team. You know, we go back to the old traditional values where, you raised a man.
I don't even know if that would solve it, though, at this point.
It would if everyone did it.
Society has gotten so entitled, and everybody is such a victim. And it's when they say the meek will inherit the earth, the meek are inheriting the earth, but not in the way that it's biblical, in the way that we'd like to see it. It's not the underdog rising up.
All right, so let's kind of just pick apart some of these issues here. So first, for starters, she brings up Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate was a YouTuber, ex-kickboxer turned YouTuber, who rose to prominence based on his views on relationships, men and women, and that dynamic. Very traditional, but some things rubbed a lot of people wrong. He was recently canceled off of every social media platform. He even claimed he was canceled from Uber and his bank. But she said that she started off by saying that he hates women. I don't hate men. And what she's referring to is a couple years ago, she ended up trending because she made a claim that men were trash. Her and her friends apparently were not, I guess the way she highlighted it, her friends were not having success dating. They're all very successful women, this and that. And the reason they're not finding competent partners was because men fell short. And she had to do a whole apology because of that. But it sounds like she still, even though she apologized, she still hasn't really changed her position on that. But he literally nailed the issue on the head. For starters, discipline. He said, start spanking children again. When men are in homes, they bring discipline, they bring order, they bring boundaries. Men are cultivators, they are pushers. But that's what fathers are good for, the structure, the discipline, that drive that comes from them. He nailed it on the head, but for some reason it went right over her head. She didn't acknowledge his answer. Maybe it was the way he stated it, because he was kind of calm and laid back, but she responded in almost disapproval, kind of just deflecting. You're like, yeah, but the issue is that's exactly the reason why we still have this problem. It's because men speak, but for the most part, a lot of modern women do not want to listen to what they have to say. And so for her, unfortunately, this is going to become a very circular issue for her. She's going to return back to the original question time and time again. Are men just trash because of X, Y, and Z? But no, it's because you have to start from the nucleus. The nucleus of a society is the husband and the wife. When you have a collection of strong husbands and wives or couples, you have a strong community. When you have a collection of strong communities, you have a collection of strong cities. And when you have a collection of strong cities, strong states, and strong states, a strong nation. The reason why we have a weak nation is because we have to go back to the nucleus. We have broken families. Specifically in my community, the Black community, over 70% of Black children are born to single mothers. That is the real pandemic. You have young boys who are growing up emotional because there's no father in the house to teach them how to focus, how to remain logical, how to have a masculine frame. They don't understand that. And so when you have a community of emotional boys who grew up to be emotional men, that's why we have gang crises in America. That's why we have a self-perpetuating single mother crisis in America. So the fact that he highlighted this and she completely missed it, I'm not saying she entirely missed the whole point, but for the most part, her response showed me that she thought it was incorrect. She dismissed it, and she returned back to the original point, which is just, well, it's just the men. It's just the men. Like, we want it to just be a simple answer. But no, I think he was correct 100%. There is a father absence crisis in America. According to the National Fatherhood Initiative, the father absence crisis in America is very real. Research shows that when a child is raised in a father-absent home, they're affected by these following points here. They're 4 times more likely to live in poverty, more likely to have behavioral problems, 2 times greater risk of infant mortality, more likely to go to prison, more likely to commit crime, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to face abuse and neglect, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, 2 times more likely to suffer obesity, and 2 times more likely to drop out of school. When you remove the father from society, chaos ensues. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So I think this was a very interesting conversation, but it shows just a great divide that we have between men and women. I do believe, as it says in the Bible in 1 Timothy, that love will grow cold in those last days. I think that's why we're experiencing declines in marriage like we are now. At this point now, if you flip a coin, that'll determine the success of a marriage now, because the divorce rate is over 50%. What do you guys think? You guys just let me know. Leave your comments. Obviously, I don't want to simplify a very complex issue. This is a very, very deep issue, and there's so many points and supporting facts that we can include. So if you guys have anything, let me know. Feel free to just like, comment, and subscribe.